Even before the release of Wild Arms 5, MediaVision unveiled plans to create a Wild Arms game for Sony's successful handheld platform, the PlayStation Portable, in September of 2006. However, the information revealed that the game would be much different from the mainline Wild Arms titles. This was because the company decided to take the world of Wild Arms and transform it into a 2D tactical RPG for the very first time. And honestly, this was a polarizing decision, even though the game used some really creative concepts that weren't used in many other tactical RPGs. But what were those things, and did this decision pay off? Before I get into that, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and click the bell below for more retro gaming content and RPG reviews like this one. Just like all the other Wild Arms games, Wild Arms XF takes place in the dying world of Filgaia, where control over the world's natural resources pits the land's kingdoms against each other. As always, the world is filled with drifters, mercenaries who travel around for profit, prestige, or to settle personal scores. The main character is Clarissa, whose mother was slain by a drifter named Rupert Dandridge 5 years before the game begins. And unlike games like Dragon Quest, she isn't a silent protagonist, so her dialogue reveals the heartfelt, dramatic, and even brutal moments of Wild Arms XF. In other words, one could say Clarissa explains it all. Wait, no, that's not the angle I was going for. I mean, yes, but no, but not in that way. Anyway, in pursuit of Rupert and her slain mother's stolen sword, Clarissa and her brother Felius sail to the kingdom of Alessius, where they immediately find themselves in the middle of a power struggle. While there, Clarissa is confused for the heir to the throne of Alessius, who is presumed to have died a year ago under mysterious circumstances. In response to this, Clarissa makes some personal choices that are, well, let's just say pretty risky, and the story takes off from there. Now, I won't spoil anything directly, but I will say that the premise at the heart of this story is super unique, and it hasn't been replicated to any extent in any RPG I've ever played. And since I played hundreds of RPGs, I was honestly pretty impressed by this fact. It's not very cliched and it works well. One thing that's really cool about Wild Arms XF is that it incorporates a lot of super unique mission objectives. For instance, in one area you have to stay out of the line of sight of these patrolling guards while you move between shacks and free prisoners. In another, you have to defend the entrance to a specific area of the map from a group of elite guards, and allowing any of them through means defeat. And these scenarios aren't outliers either, because virtually every battle in the game has a distinct win condition like this, which is a far cry from the good old defeat all enemies over and over thing. This fact made the gameplay feel super involved and really puts Wild Arms XF on a different level compared to other tactical RPGs. It impressed me so much, I'd go as far as to say that the level objectives are more creative than any other game of this type that I've played. Unlike most grid-based tactical RPGs, this one is arranged on a field of hexagons rather than squares, perhaps borrowing a bit from Wild Arms 4 and 5's hex-based battles. You can take advantage of this system by surrounding enemies on multiple sides, which unlocks the ability to execute multi-character formation arts that do increase damage. There's also a class system here where each class has their own unique abilities called originals. In addition to this, fights against enemies yields class skill points, or CSP, which allows your unit's class to level up and learn unique skills that are associated with that class. Using skills in battle consumes magic points, and you can't equip skills you learn onto other classes. On one hand, this makes each class feel like it forced units into a particular archetype, but it also causes Wild Arms XF to lack the customization possibilities that some other tactical RPGs offered. Either way, some of the battles are pretty difficult, and choosing the right combination of classes for your units was crucial. Wild Arms XF has a huge soundtrack of 89 tracks, which is honestly pretty spectacular for a PSP game. It was also created by a relatively large team of 5 people, including several mainstays that had been making music for the series for a long time. With so much selection and variance, it's tough to get sick of it, and the sheer volume made the tracks fit well into specific moments in the game rather than being just repeated over and over. Frankly, Wild Arms XF blew me away in a manner I've rarely been blown away before. So much so, in fact, that I regret not playing this game back when it came out. The story uses fresh ideas, the characters are interesting, the battle win conditions are super creative, and the gameplay is fun. And honestly, I only have two critiques. The first is that I'm not a big fan of the character art dialogue screens because I'd rather have that take place on the battlefields and other locations. Also, the voice acting isn't exactly top-notch either. But those things aren't huge letdowns, and there are plenty of other positives that make this one worth playing. I can't believe this game was never on my radar before because it's great. I probably missed out on it back when it came out because it wasn't a mainline Wild Arms game, and I suspect I wasn't alone in that. From information I can find on the internet, it looks like it only sold 70,000 copies, a pretty disappointing number for the standards of that time. It's just a shame that this one ended up being the last Wild Arms game ever made because it's probably one of the best. I consider it among the best RPGs on the PSP, and it still holds up extremely well. I don't think you'll be disappointed if you go out of your way to give this one a try. So what do you think about Wild Arms XF? Do you have any fun memories of this game, and how do you think it compares to the other ones in the series? Let me know in a comment below. Please like, subscribe, and click that bell for more retro gaming content. Big shout out to my Patreon patrons and YouTube members as always. I very much appreciate your support. And if you happen to be watching this video and you want early access to the videos I produce and other perks like they receive, please consider supporting the channel by becoming a Patreon patron or via the YouTube Join feature.